April the 12th, 2023. Guys, you're looking at one of the links on our website at BPearthWatch.com. Down on your left, 4 or 5 links down, maybe a little more, you'll see a link that says null or null wind speed, and it's spelled N-U-L-L. Now, we've got a lot of rain building up out in the Gulf of Mexico, and the reason is we have this low pressure spinning. I want to pull this up because it's going to affect the southeast in the next few days. We should be getting rain here in central Mississippi in the next few minutes, just looking at some of the cloud cover. Check this out, guys. It's really, they don't think it's going to linger in the Gulf long enough to become a bona fide tropical depression, but looks pretty strong there, and they have been mentioning it on AccuWeather and some of the other stations about the possibility of a low forming here for the last several days. And it has. Check that out. But again, this is called null wind speed. Now, I'm going to switch us over to the National Weather Service and the satellites, but I just wanted to give you an idea of where the weather's coming from and why. Now, looking at this map from over and to the left and to the west, you've got gale warnings offshore, high surf advisories, also in the Gulf of Mexico. The bright pink areas are high wind or red flag warnings. Don't burn in those areas. And you notice coming into Louisiana, you've got some coastal flood advisories, some flood warnings, and they're going up through some of the rivers, both in Mississippi, Alabama, Mississippi, yes, Alabama also, it's just hard to see, but Arkansas and Louisiana, from some that we've been getting rain, and you've got some flood watches and warnings there. But the bright green that's in the Rocky Mountains, it's called a hydrologic outlook, and they're concerned about the immense amount of snow that's been piling up in the Rockies, record amounts that's going to start melting as it gets warmer. Already, you've got a lot of rain in there. Guys, I've never been to that section of California, but I was reading about it. Maybe some of you guys in that area can come in the comments and let us know about it. But I believe it's called Lake Tulare or Tulare. And it was once the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi River. Huge. And it's down in the bottom of I guess that's the Napa Valley that goes through central California, down in the southern tip. And that was all drained out 100 years ago to make room for farms. Irrigated it out and everything like that. Well, a lot of the land sank, and you've got towns that are 25 feet that have been built in these lower elevations where once the lake dried up, that mud dried up, the elevation sank. And you got cities now that are flooded, and some that could possibly go completely underwater in that area. And it was once, like I said, the largest freshwater lake. Think about that, west of the Mississippi River. And there were Native Americans there that used it for water, fishing, and hunting. It was beautiful. Some of the paintings that I've seen from that era. It's amazing. But guys, it may not be pronouncing it right, but either Tulare or Tulare possibly. But come in and give us some info. And guys, if you haven't seen the history on that lake, check it out, and you'll see current images where it's covered highways, and that thing is filling back up, but a lot of the water's still in the mountains. Now, will they be wise this time and not drain the largest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi River? Probably not. They probably will irrigate it right back out. You've got farmers that have been there forever, and they're going to be wanting that soil back, and they're going to want to irrigate it back out and canal it out. But maybe they will come to their senses and realize, instead of worrying about droughts in that area, leave the lake alone. Move out of that area. Save your water source. It makes sense. But I'm not talking about our friends in California. I'm talking about the politicians. When I say that any state, that's what I mean, the politics. But guys, that's what we're dealing with here. But keep your eyes on the flooding out all the way through the Rocky Mountains, especially on the west side of that. It's probably still snow in the ground, on the ground all throughout the Rockies. But I've seen a tremendous amount of information coming about, talking about feet high. Some of it maybe 100 foot high in some areas. That's amazing. But I don't know the exact numbers, but I've seen some images where houses were just covered. You could barely see the peak of the roof in some places. And then up in the higher elevations, worse than that. So that's what those light green areas are. They're concerned as it's warming that some of that bad flooding is going to come into that area. Now you can see where the wind's coming in off the Pacific Ocean, and as it travels across the country, that's where you're seeing the red flag warnings. In the Gulf of Mexico, let me pull that up just a moment. Here you can see the center of circulation, and it's dry. We've seen that before in tropical storms. There's a lot of moisture getting kicked off of it now. The higher clouds, if you notice, all our friends in Louisiana, New Orleans, all the way through Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, the heavier clouds are still out. Now, coming into Mobile Bay, you're probably starting to see some of that moisture now, possibly up the mouth of the Mississippi River. But that's just getting started, so prepare for that. If you got pets out overnight, you're going to start seeing some moisture. And you notice those coastal flood watches and warnings. Let me switch this just a moment. Now, this could possibly throw up some coastal flooding like the watches we saw in Louisiana. This could happen in Mobile, along the Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida coastline right now. But notice the higher clouds are in the Gulf of Mexico still. You may be starting to see them drift into Mobile Bay, guys, maybe down into Perdido Key, back over towards New Orleans, and looks like one batch may be over Lake Pontchartrain. But you've got that low in the Gulf, and then notice to the left on the Texas-Louisiana line, there's another system spinning, and it's all working together to throw this moisture to the north. Now, in this particular filter, you can see that even though you've got the yellow clouds up into Mississippi, into Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama, the strongest orange sections in the Gulf, those are where the higher amounts of wind, the storms are going to be coming in, and a lot of rain. A lot of this is pushing off the shore of Florida now, giving you guys a break in South Florida. You're going to get a little more, but just depending on how these two storms play out. But the system spinning there is what's going to give us some problems. Again, the coastal flooding, and high wind. So you may want to pay attention if you got something in a marina, boat tied up or something like that. And especially, I know from being in Southwind Marina in Perdido Key for several years, that it doesn't take much of a storm to come in there and throw some planks off of those piers. But again, it's not a tropical system. They're not expecting it to be, but it's going to give us some of the tropical depression effects. Quick update, guys. We're watching it. You watch it. There's a lot going on around the world, and I'm going to try to get to an update on that later tonight. But now just pay attention to what we got going on here. It's a heads up. Be safe.